Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Brooke and I am going to be talking to you for the next 2 days about stepping outside of your comfort zone and what it can do for yourselves personally and in your Beachbody business once you learn to stop overthinking and move past your own fears. If you would have told me a year ago that I would be making a video on this subject for you guys, I probably would have laughed in your face because I cannot stand the sound of my own voice on tape recordings. And I also have a thing where I feel like I'm talking into a mirror right now, and that's awkward because you don't often see yourself speak. So, here we are. This is outside of my comfort zone, but I am now more comfortable with being uncomfortable, so I'm able to do it. A year ago, I probably wouldn't have even been able to record, let alone post something that was even relatively coherent. So here we are. Why is stepping outside of your comfort zone important with regard to being a successful coach? It's probably one of the most important things that you can learn. And yes, it is a skill that you can learn. It's not... Yes, I'm sure there are people out there that are just born brave and you know them. They're the ones that just take risk after risk after risk. And you know what? Good for them. That's not me. I am one of the most risk-adverse people that you could ever meet. There's always a cost-benefit analysis in everything I do. But in the last year or so since becoming a coach, I decided that, in order to really live life, the only way to do so is to constantly challenge myself, and the only way to really challenge yourself is to push your limits. As a Beachbody coach, we put ourselves out there a fair amount. Even those of us who feel like we don't really go full throttle, you're putting yourself out there more than the average person. And that leaves you vulnerable, and it's a scary place to be when you're vulnerable. Stepping outside of your comfort zone as a Beachbody coach and really pushing the limit is so important because our job is essentially to inspire our challengers and potential challengers and anyone else out there watching us. So when they see us do something that's scary or something that they think to themselves, I could never do that, it plants the seeds so that at some point in the future, they will do something that they never thought that it was possible for them to do. There are three main reasons that I've come up with, and I've done research on this subject that I think really, in a nutshell, explain why it's important to test your own limits. If you want to get ahead in life, you constantly have to, grow as a person. And in order to grow as a person, you're going to have to put yourself in new situations and do things that you don't really jive with who you think you are. When you do something that scares the hell out of you, you are pushing yourself into new areas that you break free of those limitations that you place on yourself, because we all have a mental picture of who we are and what we're capable of. And, other people's judgment on who you are and what you're capable of can cloud that, doesn't have to, but it gets in there. But when you do something, when you make a decision to do something uncomfortable, you're taking that control back. You're basically breaking free of your own self-imposed limitations. And from there, anything is possible. Besides that, comfort zones are comfortable, but the status quo is never permanent. Things change. At some point, you will find yourself outside of your comfort zone, whether you like it or not. And the more used to testing your boundaries you are, and the more flexible you are in your approach to things, the easier time you'll have when you are thrust out of your comfort zone when it's not by choice. But when you decide to do something that you ordinarily wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, that's really empowering because you're making the decision and you're taking the control back. Also, your life in general will just be richer. We really only have one chance at this life, so why play it safe? I used to really care what other people thought, and I kind of lived my life according to who I thought I was based on how I thought other people saw me. And once I stopped listening to the chatter in my head, things really changed for me, and I know that they will for you too. Obviously, this is all easier said than done, but breaking outside of your comfort zone is a skill. It's a learned thing. I know you've heard of people that are like scared of snakes or heights or whatever, and they sometimes do what's known as exposure therapy. And what they do is they expose the person with the fear to the stimulus that scares them. So for instance, if I was scared of snakes, I would be, for the first session exposed to maybe like a baby garter snake for a minute, whatever. Anyway, the point is that the more exposure you have to that scary thing, the more desensitized you will become to it. And the same theories apply to learning to break free of your comfort zone and your own limitations. For an example, when I first started as a Beachbody coach, I was terrified of sending invites to people. The very idea of inviting someone to a challenge group made me want to vomit. So I overthought the hell out of it. I would labor over invites and the perfect way it was phrased, and was the wording good enough, and am I going to offend them? So basically I would go nowhere. I would labor over it for like 2 days, and then I would send one. And I'd pat myself on the back for a job well done, and then nothing would happen. Eventually, I just got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just sending these out. This is what it is. I'm not proofing it. I'm just sending it. Go. And then I just kept doing that. And then eventually, sending invites wasn't scary at all. I'd become comfortable with being uncomfortable. So as you grow as a Beachbody coach and as your business expands, your comfort zone expands. So now you are comfortable with sending invites, but something else comes up. So maybe it's posting a before and after picture, or inviting people to join your team. Those things are they're scary for all of us at some point. You just learn to live with that fear, and instead of letting it paralyze you, you let it drive you. And you see that you come out okay. When I first finished my first round of P90X3, I had before and afters, and they were pretty good. I mean, I wasn't where I wanted to be. I was still overweight by any standards, but everyone was like, you need to push your before and afters. You have to push your before and afters. You have to push your before and afters. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's too embarrassing. And then one day I was just like, you know what? Screw it. And I did. And I posted them, and I had to walk away from the computer because I was like, I'm going to die. Like, this is, what the hell did I just do? Holy. But you know what? I didn't die. I didn't. It was really hard, but in the end, I was proud of myself. And you know what? Other people are proud of me too. I'm sure there are people that had some negative things to say, but you know what? There's always going to be people with negative things to say, and I just can't worry about that. The people that matter to me were proud of me, and the people that I didn't even know that reached out to me and commended me on like my bravery, that is why you want to push yourself outside your comfort zone, because those people that are being inspired by you will one day go on to do something amazing themselves, and something that they never thought that they could do. So, for today, I would like to do what's known as a comfort zone challenge. And basically what that is, it's a planned action to face a fear. And the primary goal of that is to increase your courage and your confidence in a calculated way. So, like, you're taking a calculated risk, and there's not going to be any huge negative. So, you're not going to be hurt. You're not going to die. Nothing crazy is going to happen to you. But you will be taking a calculated risk. So, how does this translate in Beachbody? Well, your first assignment is going to be I want you to think of the thing that scares you the most in terms of being a Beachbody coach. I'm sure you have other fears out there. We all do. What is the thing that would help your business the most if you would just do it? And you know you would do it, and you know that it would help you, but you're just too scared to do it for whatever reason. Whether it's fear of what people are going to think, whether it's fear of just sounding like an idiot, or what have you. I want you to, in the comments, write down what your biggest fear as a coach is. That is step one. That is your only assignment for today. I really want you to think about it and not wimp out, not say something like superficial. I want you to really think about what scares you and what you think would open your business if you would just get out of your own way. I really look forward to hearing your responses, and I will see you back later for part 2.